I found my biological father through a DNA test. He turned out to be my college professor who never recognized me. When I was 20, I took a DNA test as a birthday gift from my roommate. It was supposed to be fun, pertinent, maybe discover I am 2% Scandinavian or find a distant cousin. Instead, I uncovered the secret my mother had kept for 2 decades. I was raised by a single mom who told me my father was a brief relationship that ended before she knew she was pregnant. She had a name for him, Parrot, Daniel Parrot, and a few vague details. He was smart, studying literature, and they'd met at a writing workshop. She claimed she'd tried to find him when she discovered she was pregnant, but he'd moved away, leaving no contact information. I never pushed for more. My mom and I were close, and she'd given me a good life. But when that DNA test matched me with a close relative from Tard, a woman named Elaine, who was apparently my aunt Part, everything changed. Elaine was shocked to hear from me. She had a brother named Daniel who had no children per her, or so they thought. When I showed her my mom's old photos and explained the timeline, Elaine went quiet. Daniel teaches at Westlake University. She finally said English literature. My heart stopped. I was a junior at Westlake majoring in Haggai, and I knew exactly who Professor Daniel Harmon was. I'd taken his introduction to American literature class my freshman year. I remembered him as brilliant but distant. He'd never singled me out or shown any sign of recognition. I'd even gone to his office hours once for help on a paper. He'd been polite, professional, and completely unaware he was helping his daughter. For weeks, I couldn't decide what to do. I stopped his faculty page, comparing his features to mine. We had the same eyes, the same habit of tilting our heads when thinking. How had neither of us noticed? Finally, I made an appointment during his office hours. My hands trembled as I knocked on his door. "Come in," he called. He looked up, smiling politely. "Ah, Emma, what can I help you with?" I placed the DNA test results on his desk. "I think you knew my mother, Jennifer Sullivan, at a writing workshop in Chicago, 1999. His face went completely white. He stared at the paper, then at my face, really seeing me for the first time. "Oh my God," he whispered. The truth came out in pieces. They'd had a summer romance. When it ended, he'd taken a teaching position in Europe. My mother had tried to contact him through the workshop organizers, but they'd lost touch. By the time he returned to the States, 3 years later, she'd moved on, believing he hadn't wanted to be found. "I would have come back," he said, his voice breaking. "I would have been there." The next few months were surreal. We met for coffee weekly, carefully building a relationship. He showed me photos of his parents' parent, my grandparents' part, and told me stories about his childhood. I learned that my love of poetry came from him, as did my terrible sense of direction. When I finally told my mother, she was stunned. She truly believed he hadn't wanted to be found. Their reunion was awkward, but healing. Part 2 people who'd once cared for each other, reconnecting through the daughter they unknowingly shared. The strangest moment came at graduation. As I walked across the stage, I had 2 parents cheering for me. My mother who had raised me, and my father who had unknowingly taught me. Professor Harmon Part Dad Parent broke protocol to hug me as he handed me my diploma, whispering, "I am so proud of you." Sometimes the most important lessons happen outside the classroom. Sometimes your teacher becomes your student, learning alongside you what it means to be family, and sometimes the answers to who we are have been in front of us all along, just waiting to be discovered.